Okay, let's talk about the future of our economy. What if the next big leap forward wasn't about getting ahead, but about lifting each other up? Sounds kind of wild, right? Well, that is the exact idea behind something the source material calls the altruistic gamified economy. Let's get into it. Now, this one sentence, this is what really grabs you. I mean, it goes against pretty much everything we've ever been taught about how an economy works. The whole point is to get an advantage, to compete, to win. So how on earth could a system even function if you take that away? That's the puzzle we're going to try to solve today. So to really wrap our heads around where we might be headed, we got to look at where we are right now. And let's be honest, we are living through a massive period of change. We're talking a transition just as big as, say, the Industrial Revolution. But this time, the thing driving the change is completely different. And here it is, the catalyst. The core challenge, according to this idea, is that artificial intelligence is going to replace a huge portion of the human workforce. And we're not just talking about robots on a factory floor. No, this is a much deeper shift. See, we're not dealing with simple automation anymore. We're talking about the emergence of what's called strategic AI. These are systems built not just to do a task, but to outthink us, to outplan and outmaneuver humans on a strategic level. So when an AI can write a better business plan than a CEO, the whole idea of work, and especially getting an advantage, it just starts to fall apart. All right, so if AI is doing all the heavy strategic thinking, what does that leave for us to do? This is where the whole proposal gets really fascinating. It suggests that we're not just going to become obsolete. Instead, we're heading for a brand new economic model. Let's take a look at this so-called gamed economy. In this future, you can basically throw out the old rulebook. Careers, jobs, capital, labor, all those concepts are pretty much gone. Success is no longer about climbing some corporate ladder or piling up wealth. Instead, it's all about how well you can understand and navigate this new, really complex system. It's about learning how to, play the game.
So how would this actually play out? Well, you can think of it in kind of three main stages. First, all the big picture economic strategy and planning, that gets handed over to the strategic AI. Step 2, that frees all of us up to stop being workers and start being players. Our new job isn't to produce things, but to understand the rules of the game. And that brings us to Step 3, to thrive, to succeed, you have to master the game. You have to learn how to gamify this new world to get the best results.
Now, I know what you're probably thinking. A gamified system? That sounds like a nightmare where everyone's just trying to find glitches and loopholes to get ahead. But here's the absolute genius twist in this whole proposal. The goal of the game, it's not at all what you'd think.
And this question, man, it just cuts right to the chase, doesn't it? Our current economy often feels like a high scoreboard for the most greedy, the most cutthroat. And the source material asks a really powerful question. Is that really the game we want to keep playing? What if we could design the scoreboard to reward something better? And this right here is the fundamental change. It's a total 180. The old scoreboard, the one we're used to, it ranks us all by personal gain, by wealth, by power. This new scoreboard in the gamed economy, it completely flips the script. Your rank is based on your altruism. It's based on how much you contribute to the well-being of everybody else.
Just let that sink in for a second. In this future, the person at the very top of the leaderboard, the #1 player, the most successful person, isn't the richest. They're not the most powerful. They're the most helpful. They're the one who does the most good for other people. The entire incentive structure of society gets rewired to reward our best qualities.
Okay, so if the goal isn't money and it isn't power, then what is it? What's the ultimate prize? What do you actually win by being the most altruistic person in this new economy? The answer is just as radical as the system itself. So what's the payoff? It's not a currency you can spend. It is social capital in its absolute purest form. The reward for hitting the top of that altruism scoreboard is to be, and I quote, beloved for our duration. The ultimate prize isn't stuff, it's respect, it's appreciation. It's having a meaningful place in the world that you've earned by genuinely making things better for everyone. And that's really the big question this leaves us with. Now look, this whole idea is speculative, for sure, but it forces us to ask something really important. As AI continues to change our world, we actually have a chance to redesign what we value. So could we? Could we really build an economy where the biggest prize isn't wealth, but love? It's a pretty amazing thought. Thanks for joining me.